We're good. All right. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I'd love to just quickly introduce yourself to the people watching, all 7 of them, and we'll get going.
Yeah, so my name's Kate. I'm a content creator from Melbourne, and I also run my own company with my siblings. Can I start over?
No, just go for it. Just play it up. Do whatever you want. Go for it. Go start over. Guys will
My
probably
name's
keep it
Kate.
in there.
I'm a content creator from Melbourne. I run a small business with my siblings, and I also create content for other small businesses as well.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know about the other content for small businesses, so that's cool. So we're gonna get into that too. Okay. So I'm writing some notes here because you already gave me a whole bunch of stuff to talk about already, which is good. But actually what I wanted to start with is like take it back to the beginning, because I don't know the beginning, because you just popped up in my comments and then I started following you. So I've been watching your recent ones. But where did it start? Like, how did this journey start? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so I started my small business 2019, and then over the pandemic, it blew up.
Cool.
And then we started on TikTok.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we were primarily marketing our brand through Facebook groups and stuff like that,
okay.
just organic and word of
Love
mouth.
it. Yeah.
And then there was this thing called TikTok. And it was like, well, we better get on this pretty quick. And it took us a while to figure it out. But once we did, it just skyrocketed everything. So that's how that started. And then from there, I thought, this is really cool. I kind of want to start sharing a little bit of my own life. So I made my own account.
Yeah.
And that wasn't doing much either. It wasn't that interesting, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Love it. Same as mine right now. Fine.
And then I posted this video of me painting my fridge with chalkboard paint. And I posted it thinking nothing of it. I thought it was pretty boring myself, if I'm going to be honest. Went for 2 minutes, and it was just when they brought out the 3-minute feature.
Yeah.
And I put my phone down, and then Chloe and I, my sister and business partner, we were due to jump on a TikTok live to promote the business. And so she was on her phone and I was on my phone. And the comments coming through, there was an abnormal amount of people on this live. And the comments coming through were, Pov, you just saw this girl painting her fridge and now she's selling you earrings. And I was like, who are these people? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Chloe pulls up her laptop and she said, Kate, that video is at 80,000 views already.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is not normal. This is going to be a bigger video than we've seen. And it ended up, I think I checked the other day, it's now sitting at 25.6 million views. That's
crazy.
Of me painting my fridge with chalkboard paint.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that interesting. But apparently a lot of people thought it was.
Is it? I haven't seen this one, which is quite interesting. Is it like time lapse, or is it like you talking about you painting it, like your normal style that you do? Yeah,
so it was little clips of me painting the fridge, and then over the top it was like the Siri voice.
Okay, funny. That's so good. 25 million, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit myself. I want to go back a bit. So the Brass and Bone is the small business that you had. That's the one we're talking about, right? The current, and when you started that, so it's your brother and sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And how does that work? Like, talk to me a little bit about the business, what it does, why it started, where it come from. Like, give me that backstory.
Yeah, so it started in like early 2019. I went to Japan and I found all of these really fun earrings that I was obsessed with, and I knew that I couldn't find at home. And I bought this massive haul, and I just realized I'm not wearing any now.
Damn it. Have you got any on yet?
I don't. I might in my handbag, but yeah, I know.
Amateur.
Shocking. I brought them all back, and I thought, I can't find them here. I wonder if I could find them online and maybe start selling them myself. And so that's how it started. I was working in a call center for roadside assistance, making my website in between phone calls and teaching myself basically. And so that's when that started. And since then, it's kind of taken over mine and my siblings' lives. Kind of, it has.
Yeah,
it's massive for us.
Yep.
So Nick is more of the logistics and finance.
Cool.
So he's the brains.
Yep.
Chloe she's great. She's creative and marketing as well. But she's so good at customer service.
Yeah.
She's just such a sweetheart. and she's coined calling our followers lovelies.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's lovely.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then I guess I started it. I have my finger in all of the pies. So marketing, creative, and I guess I boss my siblings around a
I
little
love
bit.
it. That's so good. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
So how did you get all into it? Like, is it from the beginning you just decided to do it all together, or as it grew, like more of you added, or like what was that bit? How did that go about?
So I started it
Yeah.
and it was at that point just a website.
Yeah.
And I took it to my sister and I said, this
Yeah.
is a website. And she said, oh, cool, let me make a Facebook post. And the first one we did, we made $1,000 and we were like, oh, we're rich.
Love it. That's so good.
Yeah, this is it. We've made it, Mum.
Love it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started. And so, yeah, she obviously brought herself on board.
Yeah.
And then when things got bigger and more hectic, Nick jumped in because he was like, this needs structure and needs to be organized and you need to be able to ship things out properly and stuff like that. So it kind of just naturally happened that way. Yeah. I joke that they were the only two dumb enough to jump on board with me. But
Family are the only ones usually. Yeah. No, that's cool. Oh, and what was the time frame like? So you said July? No, what did you say in 2019?
Yeah,
July.
Early. I think it was June or
July.
Yeah.
And in what time frame are we when your sister joins, and then what time frame when your brother joins?
A matter of months.
Yeah, really. So before the end of the year, you're all in there.
Yeah, our first year we were all in there, and it was all three of our full-time jobs by the end of the year.
So before lockdown, you were all doing it, or about lockdown sometime during lockdown?
Yeah, we just started it, and then lockdown was shortly after.
Yeah, okay.
It was
So it was over that
timing.
lockdown period that it really started to build.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we were in lockdown, and Nick and I were still working from home with our headsets on for roadside assistance, taking calls and wrapping earrings.
That's so good.
Yeah, and then because we were still getting paid from our job, but building the business, and then it kind of got to the point we released the vodka cruiser earrings. And we were like, we can't do both anymore. Yeah. It's just we've just got to do it.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love that. That is proper side hustling.
Yeah,
I love it. Don't get any ideas, you folks.
Try not to.
Con already does. He
you
already
want to
comes
do an
in every
earring
morning and
collab?
fucking does the stuff. Yeah, wow, fuck, let's go. Attention seeker earrings. De Plaza earrings for Connor.
They could say questions.
Questions,
concerns.
Fuck, could you imagine questions earrings? That's stupid. That's so
Let's do
stupid.
it.
You're getting excited.
That's so dumb. That's it. We're just planning earrings merch for Taz.
Yeah, done.
No, I love that. So, like, tell me then, because, like, and I think this is interesting for people to hear. Like, let's say that first 12-month period, and be as specific as you're okay to be. But, like, what was that from a revenue perspective to give you confidence? Like, what was coming in on a monthly or?
Yeah. So by the end of the first year, we'd done $500,000.
Cool, massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was that year that you guys were like, let's all go, right? Because it was in that year. And tell me about that 500K, because that's a huge number for first year, but
it disappears very quickly.
Especially in product-based businesses.
Yeah.
Yep. But tell me about, like, before we get into like how much that actually turned into for you guys, like what was the, like, if we think about it spread over the whole year, how was it? Like, was it quite linear in its growth, or was it pretty rapid? Like, what was it, spikes?
Yeah, so earrings, very seasonal.
Yeah.
So you take that into account. We also released the vodka cruises as well, which was our first $20,000 day. That was insane for us.
That's
we
crazy.
just thought, like, we were all crying, and our mum was there, and we were like, we've made it, Mum. Put this one on the fridge.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
That's awesome though.
Yeah. And then, so that was a big spike for us. And then the holiday season, so Christmas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then any time a video would go viral on TikTok, there would be,
That's when it goes.
that would be 3 weeks, go,
Yeah.
nonstop, packing, making, all that. Yeah.
So it's very spiky as opposed to like any sort of, I mean, there's seasons in terms of holiday seasons and stuff because that's normal shopping seasons, but like you don't just have this like normal linear graph or even like a hockey stick graph. It's like, it's jagged.
And then you throw festivals in there as well, and it's like,
Interesting.
yeah.
And do you like put your,
Harry Styles concerts as well. That was a big one for us. The lead up to Harry Styles was
Really?
huge. Chloe and I actually went to Harry Styles, and we were we were there and we were seeing girls wearing our earrings, which we thought was really cool.
That's fucking epic.
And then we were leaving and the girls would come up to us and be like, oh, we saw you. We just wanted to say hello and like get a photo. And we were so stoked.
That's awesome. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And do you see it, like, do you strategically go after that? So like, there's concerts coming up and stuff and then you make your videos for that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched many of these ones. I've watched mostly your ones, but like, how do you do that? Like, are you purposely going, here's stuff for that festival, or are you just strategic and like making videos pop off at that time?
Yeah, so we respond to trends a lot. If there's something on TikTok or what have you, or happening in just the media, I guess.
Yep.
So the reason we got the laser cutter, so our pieces are laser cut. Before we got that, we were importing our items from China. And then we found that we didn't really have an edge anymore because everyone saw our success and wanted to mimic that, which was great. We actually loved that.
Yeah.
But then we thought, well, we've got to be original somehow. So we got the laser cutter. And what the laser cutter has allowed us to do is to design a pair of earrings and manufacture them in a matter of an hour.
Cool.
So we can jump on those trends really early. It's not as profitable as the stuff we were importing in terms of, cost
and labor.
Exactly. But we're able to jump on those trends and do that kind of stuff. So
that is pretty cool. And I suppose like if you're getting the orders when that sort of stuff, are you making it to order then, or do you pre-make a bunch?
So we try not
to
do made to order.
Yeah.
We get really caught up, and then when we're trying to take care of all of that chaos, we then slack off on the TikToks and stuff like that. So we try and make it all beforehand.
Yeah.
We did a challenge where we designed 100 pairs of earrings in 5 days. That was really hard. Yeah, and we weren't able to pre-make any of them.
Yeah.
It was just we've got to pump out the designs, so that afterwards was all made to order. And I think that got them caught up for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
afterwards.
crazy.
Yeah.
Shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then talk about tell us a little bit about the growth since then. So the first year is $500,000. How's that sort of changed? Like year 2, year 3, we're year 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that changed?
It's actually, it plateaued at some point. And so now we're working our way through finding out what the next type of product is, right?
Okay.
I think we've reached most of the people that love the quirky earrings, which tend to be teachers and a younger demographic, or whoever jumps on the trend and likes that kind of earring. So we've kind of plateaued, and now we're expanding out into other products as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
That's how
under the same brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how, you don't have to give me full specifics, but how much more than that are you sitting at now?
Not much more.
Not much more. So that was kind of teetering out at the top. That's real interesting, right? I don't think people see that enough, that businesses have natural limits to them without fundamental changes. Because where's your audience? Because you don't ship everywhere, right?
We do.
Oh, you do? I didn't
We
notice
ship
that.
everywhere, including Guam.
Maybe Deparza needs to listen too. Nah, just joking. I just give him shit. I didn't notice that when I looked at the site. It looked like it only was Australasia. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, well,
cool.
I'll have to look into
that.
that.
No, but that might have just been the way I read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ship everywhere. Where's most of it going?
So Australia and the US.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And is one bigger than the other? Are they pretty even?
No, Australia is bigger than the US.
way bigger, is it? Yeah, that's interesting.
The issue is the shipping rates. So our orders that we do send out to the US are bigger orders, so between $200 to $300.
Yeah.
So our customers in the US will hold off in buying every launch, and then they'll make one big order, which suits them.
Yeah. And is there any way, I suppose you probably haven't got, your fundamental shift is probably having enough volume in the US that you have 3PL over there.
Yeah,
shipping over.
And then also that would require a lot of forward planning as well in terms of product, and then we're not as flexible with jumping on trends and sharing that across all of our social media, because then the US will feel left out versus Australia.
Yeah. And there's a lot more capital needed, right? Because do you actually that was I'm going to jump to that question now. Have you thought about that from a scalability point of view, bringing investors on? Have you had people come after you yet? Investors?
Not serious ones.
Nah, okay.
Yeah.
Just ma and pa investors, as in small town guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no big guys. Have you wanted that, or are you happy with where it's at? Like what's your mindset on that? Like on growth,
Yeah.
what's the plan? Global domination or stay where you're at and just build slowly?
It's interesting because it depends on which sibling you ask.
That's so good. Tell me, give me all the scoop.
So Nick, world domination.
Good, love Nick. Nick's my mate.
Yeah.
Let's get Nick in later. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. We joke around that I'm a cash grabber. I'm
Yeah.
a cheapskate, but I'm a cash grabber. So whatever's making us money,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
And Chloe just wants to keep everyone happy.
Okay.
So she would prefer to keep it small and make everyone happy. And yeah.
And when you say people, is that literally everyone or just customers is a big thing?
Everyone.
Everyone. So she just wants
Everyone.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so too big means too many people means you can't control it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
got
I
it.
have to, like, it's not uncommon for Chloe and I to bicker over the price of a pair of earrings. And
really?
we're talking the difference between like $4. She'll be like, no. And I'll be like, well, we're running a business here. We have bills to pay. We've got these grand plans that we want to, we're going to need money for. And, we need to charge what they're worth and we need to cover the bills. And she'll be like, no.
Funny.
So I'll get it to $2.50.
I love it. What is the I'm jumping all around the place here, but I'm taking notes so I can come back. What is the idea around pricing? Can we go to the shop for a little bit to have a look? What is the strategy of pricing? Like, how do you price them? What's your model for that?
It honestly depends on labor.
Yeah.
How long a piece of a pair of earrings takes us
Yeah.
to make.
Because we're in automatic price changing.
Yeah.
Because you probably price it as Australian dollars. And
I
then
do,
it automatically does it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's fine. We can sort of understand where these are. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I cut you off.
And then it also depends on, so these lava lamps here,
Yeah.
they glow in the dark. So that sheet of glow in the dark acrylic on the base is
Yeah.
a lot more expensive than a standard sheet of acrylic.
Yeah.
So we have a price calculator that we've set up and we put in the cost of the materials and then time of labor that we estimate.
Yeah.
And then it gives us a rough idea of where we should be pricing it. And then we either round it up or round it down depending on how flexible Chloe's mood is.
Yeah. Love it. Tell me a second before I start dissecting this a little bit, because I love pricing. Pricing is a fun topic to talk about. But before we get in, who's your competitors? Like, who do you look to and go, they're doing it well? Or you like what they do? Or even other sort of fashion brands that you're like, I like their style and what they do?
There aren't many.
Yeah.
Because what we do is what we like to do, and we don't like to focus too much on what other people are doing, because then that kind of
So instead of like thinking about like competitors, then think about like, what are brands that you think from a consumer's point of view, they sit at the same level as you?
a level in terms of
Like for instance, there is Lamborghinis and then there's Toyotas, right? Like that level, like not necessarily, it's not always price, but it's there's a perception of value.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people think a Louis Vuitton coat is worth more than a coat from Kmart.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the utility factor of it, they both keep you warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, you're not going to pay $5,000 for a coat from Kmart. So there's a perception of value. If you think about your
My
brand,
perception on our value is, we're boutique
Yeah.
in terms of these are our designs, and I think they're at a higher price point than other earrings like this on the market.
Yeah.
And that's because they're our unique designs,
Yeah.
and we work really hard on making them cool, and we work really hard on getting our feedback from our customers and
Yeah.
asking them what they want to see, because at the end of the day, we may as well make earrings that they want
Yeah.
and they want to purchase, and
Yeah.
they also feel involved too.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely on a boutique level. In terms of specific brands, I'm not really.
No,
too
that's
sure,
okay.
but-
That's okay. We don't need to, because you saying boutique's like a real good thing for me. Like, and maybe Nick will really love me at this, and maybe Chloe will really hate me. But like, so my sort of view on pricing is twofold. Is the first bit is pricing psychology. So pricing psychology there's heaps of study on pricing psychology, and some of it's just basic stuff, right? Like left-hand rule, like the left-hand number is the most prominent number, right? So there's no point in charging $62 for something.
No.
It may as well just be 65 or 69, or drop it back down to 59.
59.
So there's that simple basic stuff. But then there's also like people get stuck in this your model, which is cost plus. And the cost plus model is like what a lot of so in hospitality, because that's my whole career, right? Like most of my career is hospitality. If you go to like a 4-star or below hotel, or like even in the same breath restaurants, they don't really have star ratings, but like you kind of know if it's a high-end restaurant or like mid-range and below.
Yeah.
Mid-range and below often work on a cost plus basis. And there's in that mid-range or in that cost plus model, everyone who isn't the cheapest actually lose and they struggle. And the reason why is because it's cheapest doing it purely based on volume. They're going wide market volume play. So think supermarkets.
Yeah.
So
that's where I went to, cleaning products in the supermarket, right?
Yeah.
How can you sell a bottle of dishwashing detergent for $3-4 and be making so much money? You need your volume.
Yeah. And the issue is that and so before I get into the issue, so that's the one way they win, and all the ones in the middle lose. And then at the high end they all kill because they can do low volume, massive margins.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking like 5,000% markups and stuff. No, more than that, 100,000% markups, like on top of their products. The guys always in the mid range always tend to lose long term.
Yeah.
Because of two things. They don't do enough volume that they just become too big to fail, or they don't have enough money to do the right marketing to level up to hold that status symbol.
Yeah.
And so they sit in this mid category where you constantly have to iterate to try keep people. And so when you see like plateaus of revenue, you have a real problem there of like going, how do I stay fresh to keep that plateau? Which you already know because you're trying to make other products.
Yeah.
But then now you get into other product lines, which bring more cost lines, which more complexity, which then makes it harder. Then you're like, and then like I don't want to like fucking jump into the future here, but like what happens is like you get to those other product lines and you go, fuck, we're making less profit than we used to because of all the other shit we have to do now.
Yeah.
Fuck, we should just scale back to the simpler life and listen to Chloe and be like, we should just do what we were doing before.
Yeah.
So like there's this like real hard thing when you get into pricing level, like where do I sit? And at scale, it's hard to go mid-market. If you think about Australia, you think about how many mid-market clothing stores are gone.
Yeah.
They all got wiped out.
Yeah.
Especially all the men's mid-market store, because men aren't fussy.
Right.
So men are either going, I'm going to get real cheap stuff, or I'm going to ball out and get all the cool stuff, right? We don't play in the middle. We're just like cheap crap clothes.
It's interesting that you say that now, because I see myself doing that too. Is I'm to my core a cheapskate, but I will splurge. But when I splurge, I buy nice. And I'm not, you're right, I'm not going to mess around with the middle tier there. No. And now that you've said that, I probably would put us closer to the middle, in the middle tier.
I think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at your pricing.
Yeah, because when we were selling the products that we imported, we were sending out so many pairs of earrings. And we were still making the same amount that we were now.
Yeah.
But now it feels like less orders needed to go out, less packing. We don't need to hire as many people to help us pack those orders in the busiest seasons. But I would agree. I think we're in that middle tier. I can't see Chloe agreeing to
going higher. No, and I don't know if you need to. It's just like there's other things you have to do. But that's a real interesting thing about that, like low or high. And that, like I'm just using Connor as an example because like I always give him shit about being cheapskate, but actually like him and I both like kind of think the same and stuff, like, and he gives me shit about different things and I give him shit about different stuff, but like I won't spend money on things like a car, or I won't spend money on a thing like a house or stuff like that because there's no value to me.
Right.
But then like we were joking one day in the car because he's like, he always gives me shit, or we always talk about how I give him shit about having cars and I think they're stupid and whatever. But then I was like telling him about this $15,000 coat I wanted to buy, and he was like, what the fuck? Like, are you fucking kidding? That's 5 of my cars.
Yeah.
And you're fucking saying my car's too expensive?
It's 15 of my cars. That's how much of a cheapskate I am.
And it's dumb because it's what we value, but like a lot of us do that. We don't play in the middle often. We either go like, we value this stuff, so we'll spend the money on it, or everything else we'll spend here. And like, I'm like that. So on cars, I don't value them at all. So we have, there's a thing here called Mevo, which is like pay by the hour sort of car.
Nice.
And they just park down the street, and that's all I use, right? So I just use it as I need it. It's like Uber. Uber. It costs
Yeah.
the same as an Uber, but you drive yourself. But that's how a lot of people think. So they don't often play in the mid-market and they'll not at a volume play anyway, because like everything's expensive these days.
Yeah.
So if you play in the mid-market, you're like, I can't have as much here. I either need to play real high or play real low. And there's only a few brands, which is why I wanted to wrap that up, because there are a few brands who did it real well.
Okay.
Or they sit at like the upper tier and like think Nike.
Yeah.
So Nike's not expensive. It's not high-end fashion, but it's definitely not cheap.
No.
Not cheap at all. But what they did real smart is they had a broad range of products.
Yes.
So if you go to Rebel
Similar
Sport,
to us.
exactly, you got
Yeah.
the 30s and the 60s and all different price ranges, 20s and stuff. But they have like, what the way they did it is they went to like Rebel Sport and they're like, oh, Rebel Sport, you can have all our plain tees, all this sort of stuff. You can have that. That's all our cheap range. All our basics, and you can't get that anywhere else. But soon as you go to Nike store,
Yeah.
it's all high
Premium.
end, all
Yeah.
premium. And you go into an actual Nike shop, and there's like very few products, but it's all their premium stuff, and they sell it like really expensive.
Yeah.
But you go to Rebel Sport, and you can pick up a Nike singlet for like $20.
Yeah.
But you go to Nike store, and the cheapest thing is $80.
Yeah.
So they were able to like go, okay, we got the same brand, but we know there's one target audience that shops there and one target audience that shops with us direct. And so we sell them differently to each other. How you do that is something we'd have to flesh out, but like,
Yeah.
or you'd have to flesh out, but like, that's another way of looking at it too. So Chloe gets to go, well, look, the people who can't afford it,
Yeah.
or the people who are at more modest budgets,
Yeah.
we cater for you. But then like we got this real premium range.
Yeah.
And I think for you guys, because you can't really you can't go to Rebel Sport to stock your stuff or whatever. And don't get into stockists with the model that you got. You're doing fine. You don't really need stockists.
We tried, didn't go well at all.
I would hate it.
Yeah.
Because they don't do it on consignment, right? They do it all as in you have to give it to them before they pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless there's small, tiny stores who might do it. But I would say that you just have, what if you just guys brought out like, you wouldn't call it this, but like a couture range, right?
Yeah.
Which is just like maybe more premium product or whatever,
Yeah.
and they just had like, they're like $300 earrings.
And I've pitched this $300 earrings.
Well, okay, you go to a jewelry store. What does a pair of
Yeah.
gold earrings cost?
Yeah. That would it would be a whole new realm of earrings then. And yeah, that would be incredible. Yeah.
I just said that 100% off the cuff, but you'd have to do some actually.
I'm thinking logistics now.
Yeah, but like, could you make a premium range, right? Because could you go from
absolutely.
party earrings to like a little bit more sophisticated, like going out
Yeah.
for dinner, like a really
Yeah.
nice dinner, but they're still cool and personality
Yeah.
style, and they're using more premium product, and then you're like, okay, these are, in the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away, and you just do one or two, like you just trial it,
Yeah, absolutely.
just give it a crack.
Yeah.
Because actually the profit margin on that will be way more.
Yeah.
Because perceived value of rare metals and
Yeah.
whatever you do, I mean, you probably wouldn't get into rare gems or anything like that, but you know what I
No.
mean? Like you get into rare metals and stuff. You could do something that's different and premium as opposed to laser cut stuff.
Yeah.
Like, is there a different way to do it? That's what the ones that sit in the middle that work are those ones.
Yeah.
They have the bulk market, mass market stuff,
Yeah.
and then they have this little one up.
Yeah.
I don't know if
You're
that's...
giving me ideas.
What could you do? Have you had
No,
calls for other stuff?
Yeah, so we have been looking into fun chunky silver rings with fun gems in them and stuff like that. And the thing that has been holding us back is that they would be quite expensive, not only to manufacture but to sell.
Yeah.
And then there's the Chloe in my brain that goes, are people going to buy that? But if we have a small MOQ to start with, it's not going to hurt.
No.
Yeah.
Like, even if you just did like, I mean, like, let's say like something like this, right? Like, how many units of a normal range would you sell of this?
How many units have we sold?
Yeah, something like a normal range that you have. What's a normal amount that you sell of a normal range?
Well,
in units.
Yeah, it depends. So these two, so the dripping gold daisy and the psychedelic butterflies, they're really popular. So they're in the hundreds, maybe even thousands.
Yeah.
The butterflies did semi okay. Yeah,
Okay,
around
so-
the hundreds.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So if you did like a small run, you'd have to be in the tens.
Yeah.
for like proper small run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you could do like, we're only doing 50 of these or
Yeah.
even smaller just to.
And we love doing exclusive products as well,
Yeah,
like limited edition and stuff like that. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
And
You should
we
just start a
usually
storyline. Sorry, keep going.
usually we set things as limited edition, then we realize we actually really like them, we want to stock them, and then we kick ourselves. But
Yeah.
what were you saying?
No, I'm going to come back to that too, limited edition. I was just saying, why don't you start a storyline that is about, hey, we really wanted to make this thing, but for us to do that, this is the price point it has to sit in, and just get, because your users like get their feedback like before you even start. Do it anyway, but just get the conversation started that this is what's happening, and you just go like,
and almost prime them with the information
ready.
Of this is what we're doing and why, and
exactly get them ready, build the storyline up, then build the hype
instead
and
of just sending out an email blast to our tens of thousands of emails being like, hi, please spend $300.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but spend 3 months like prototyping and everything, getting it right, and show that journey of doing it, because you guys are obviously pretty open books about stuff. And then just see. Because if it doesn't work, then you just be like, well, that was a shit idea.
Yeah.
But if it does work,
and
you can start to push out this top tier one, that gives you that's where your revenues can start to change, because, and actually you don't even need your revenues to change. Your revenues can stay the same, but you get a higher profit margin.
Yeah.
Because look, there's only so much profit you can have on a $33 pair, even if you're making them for $1, like it's still only $32, but you're selling something for $300, you could make $100 profit.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go back to limited edition one. Do you know the guys, what's their name? Crop Shop Boutique. What's her name? The bikini model.
No.
She lives in Gold Coast. Rachel Dillon.
No, I don't know.
Okay. So, Rachel Dillon is like 4-time bikini champion, whatever. Anyway, she's like a sports, like she's like body sculpting sort of person, right? Bring her up, because she's got a do Crop Shop Boutique. That's her brand. So they were so sad. So my partner is a gym junkie, loves her, like, because she does all this gym stuff. Anyway, this is her brand that she made, Crop Shop
Chloe's
Boutique.
gonna love this.
And so Crop Shop Boutique is Rachel Dillon's brand.
Yeah.
And she has obviously got collaborations with heaps of people that she does and all sort of crap. But it was just her, she started. But what they did is they did like a limited drop, and they sold out in like about a minute and a half or something of this thing, right? Because they're massive, these guys. They do in the hundreds of millions probably across the group that they have.
Yeah.
But they were so smart. They were like, okay, look, guys, like, you all complain because we didn't have enough of this. So we've got a limited run, but you have to understand, like, we haven't made these, so we're going to have to make them. There's an 8-week wait.
8 weeks. Whew.
And they just, what they did. They just left it open.
Yeah.
There was no limited time.
No.
And it just went bananas.
Yeah.
And then they just go get them all manufactured because they got all the money for
Yep.
it. So, like, that's the thing. Like, you couldn't do it all the time because it'd become stupid.
Yeah. And people are so smart. Like,
They're so
they would
smart.
cotton on. You can't lie to the internet. It's
And it was the
just-
first time they did it. So you guys have kept doing this
Right.
limited edition. So if you keep doing it, and then you just know, if one sells out that fast,
Yeah.
you just go, all right, this is the one. Everyone wanted it. There's all these abandoned carts that we can go after, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And you just open it up
Yeah.
and just go for gold, and then just go, there's a big
And then we make
delay.
the exact same earring for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Nick goes mad.
Yeah, but he'll be laughing all the way to the bank. He'll love it.
Yeah.
But so they're quite crazy. Like, Rachel Dillon is ridiculous. Like, what she's been able to build. She started it all off like buying PDF fucking training plans.
Oh, yeah.
That's how she started.
Wow.
And then made like an app, and then did like group classes, and she'd get like thousands of people join this group
During
6-week
COVID, I
programs and
bet, yeah?
all sorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, mental.
Yes, so good.
All right, that's not your brand. Get rid of her brand. She's got enough fucking attention. Okay, I love it. This is so cool. I love that where you guys at, because I wasn't sure. I really wanted to know. Like, I wasn't sure where the size of it was. It's really interesting to hear it have that peaked out real early in its journey.
Yeah.
You went so fast, and then it went there, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
I do think that unless you can change the product style, I honestly don't think product lines is the right way.
Yeah.
it adds so much complexity. Don't go, oh, Stan said so. Do it. Like, fuck, I'm not the authority here. But it is real hard. Like, you know why I know this is that every single hotel, I had 12 jobs in 11 years in hotels. I'd moved around a lot because they send me into fixed places.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did in every single place was rip out all the menus, all the products, and just simplify and put less in.
Yeah.
Because every time people are like, oh, we need to make more money. Let's add another product. Let's add another service category. Let's add another service time, whatever. And all it did is it made it less efficient. No one was coming in. We just diversified our market. Things didn't go well.
Yeah.
And it cost, we may have made a little bit more money, but our profit margins were just wiped out. More staff, more costs, more logistics, more all that stuff. The real trick to making more money is to reduce item lines, which is why Nike.com has fuck all on it compared to their actual whole suite of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they, from their point of view, what they sell is like get customers to buy a pair of Jordans, a pair of Air Forces, you know, whatever. They got a few things. When I say few, they still have heaps, but they have it far less than what they actually have across their whole range that they sell at Rebel Sport or all their other things. And you can't do that because you're not a multi-trillion-dollar fucking empire that rules the world yet. But I think like what I would do is either my advice would be to either try and go into that next premium category, or think about investors.
Yeah.
Because what investors do is they don't care about a loss over the first couple of years.
Right.
They care about establishing scale.
Yeah.
And so your scale here is setting up 3PLs and shipping in the US, and then you've been able to sell in the US without shipping rates. Yeah. And then it's on.
Yeah.
Because like you think tell me how much of that let's say $500,000, whatever the revenue actually is, but the $500,000 mark, percentage wise, how much is Australia?
I'd say probably about 70% Australia.
Okay. 70% Australia, right?
I'd say. I'm just guessing, but yeah.
And that's going to be because you've got a more heavier presence there, but also because the shipping rates are way better in Australia. In Australia, like local shipping rates are actually really good.
Yeah.
So if you think like 70% of your 500K is Australia, but you could actually grow the American market to an equal size and opportunity if you were more present in that place. They're 15 times bigger, something like that, than the Australian market. In population.
In population,
but in revenue, market-wise, they're way bigger, right?
Yeah.
So like you could go, if you could set up there right with the right investors to back all the production and actually just have a team who can, like you just have a team there with their own cutters and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a company called...
that would be so cool.
Yeah. And it's doable, but you have to be keen to take investment. And that's What's your thoughts on... what's your thoughts on that?
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like control in that sense, and handing that over to someone, even if, you know, they do know more than you and they have all the right things and they have the money. It's very scary. Yeah. Because then you're not only being held accountable by yourself.
Yeah.
Then
sounds like me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want investment.
Yeah.
It's scary, but there's a couple things to consider.
There's more people let down in that sense. I can let down myself, but anyone else, then that's scary.
Yeah. One of the things to think about with investors that people get a bit worried about is that like it's not a loan. They're investing. So they're risking their money on you. You don't want to find someone who comes in and invests and tells you what to do. You want someone to come in who will invest and give you support where you need it because they know.
And sees your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're investing in you, not the idea.
Yeah.
Like your idea is not new.
No.
At all. Not even by a long shot. But that's okay. What's new is you guys and the way you do it. Yeah. That's new. And it can't be replicated.
Yeah.
Only you guys can do it. So they invest in that and they allow you to do it. And that's what like the couple of investors that have talked to us, which we're not going to do, but a couple of them who have talked to us, they've said, I said, like, I don't want to, like, I make stupid hiring decisions. I spend money on stuff that I shouldn't spend it on. Like, I do it because it's my gut feel and I'm playing a real long game approach. And they've all said to me, like, that's what we want to invest in.
Yeah.
We don't want to invest in a marketing companies. Like, you know how many marketing companies there are, Stan? It's fucking stupid. It's a dumb investment, right? So you should think about it the same. Like, if you ever did, like, if you really, like, I think a lot of people go, oh, let's make incremental changes and slowly grow, but that doesn't work.
No.
You have to like fundamentally design it.
Yeah.
If you could grow it to what is like for you, you say money, money, money is what I've written for your approach. What does that mean to you?
Chloe's going to hate that.
I love it. That's so good. What do you think that means to you? Like, what is that?
Security mostly. Yeah. Growing up, we didn't really have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm old enough to be able to change that for myself, and I recognize that security is the first thing, and then whatever comes after that is a bonus.
Yeah. What does security mean for you?
Probably that it could all just disappear tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'd be okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And when you say okay, does that mean like I'm okay forever, or I'm okay for enough time to get back on my feet?
Probably, well, I think I'm already at the point where it's, if it was to stop tomorrow, I'd be okay for enough time until I'm on my feet again. So I think it would have to be at least a couple of years for me to just go, whoa, that all is, it's gone now. Poof, I don't know how it happened, but not that it would.
Yeah.
I've been thinking that for the last 4 years and it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know how it poofs and goes away? Do you know how that happens?
No.
It happens when the people, like businesses, overstretch the wrong ways.
Yeah.
That's how it does. Because then you get into like unsustainable territory, no long-term growth. The difference with you guys, the way you guys would do it is if you stopped building community.
Yeah.
I think.
Stopped connecting with that community as well, because we have such a strong community at the moment that Chloe jokes she could release the ugliest pair of earrings and they'd love it just because we made it. One of our best customers is called Gemma. Gemma, if you're watching this, hi. And we call all of our best customers, and there's a big group of them, we call them our Gemmas.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
and
so
we love them.
And you publicly do that?
We have done internally.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good.
Because we just, we love them and they love us. And
yeah. That's like
incredible.
Real like Supreme brick sort of stuff, eh? Like,
you
know how Supreme just like made a brick and a crowbar and stuff? I love that. That's so good.
Yeah, we could do that.
You should make brass and bone brick earrings.
Brick earrings.
Just as a piss take. Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, we named some of our earrings after our customers as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
On there, how many designs are you up to? How many lines have you done? Heaps.
So many.
Yeah.
There was at one point 360 earrings on the website that were live, and that wasn't all the ones that we had drafted as well. So many. We've done 2 of the 100 earrings in 5-day challenge.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I didn't learn from the first try, but I wanted to do it again. So many pairs of earrings.
That's so crazy. And you're still selling them because you still got stock, and so you just keep selling until they run out, or how does that work?
I think we keep selling until that one's kind of dead.
Yeah.
You know, we'll restock small amounts if it's an older pair, but people still want them. And we get messages and emails and stuff saying, can you bring this one back? And so we'll go, well, only one person wants them, but we're making it for them anyway. We may as well make 5. And then we'll just put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Easy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I love this story. This is great. Because I had no, like, it's going to sound real shit, but like, I couldn't tell from first glance where this was and how it is. Like, you really have to get deep into the lore of it to know it, which is cool because it means it's like, the brands that have if you know are the best, because then only their community knows, and so they love that feeling of like, if you don't know it, you don't know it. Get out. Which is, you can see it like even with our stuff on Taz, like the people who know Taz know we're taking the piss, and like, they get the joke. And people, like, I love the person who's like on our recent videos like, tell me you haven't seen a Taz video without telling me you haven't seen a Taz video. Which makes me want to flick over to you and your brand, because I don't know if you know much about our company, but actually we're more about personal brands than we are company brands. So tell me about your TikTok. Like, you blew up on this fridge video. Yeah. That was your personal one, right?
Yeah.
So you blew up on the fridge video. Yeah. And what is, like, how's that journey been? Because must be a different journey to the brass and bone journey.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about that.
Very
what does that
different.
look like? Yeah.
So it started with the fridge video, and that blew up, and I rode that wave for a very long time.
Love it.
I think my TikTok name at the time was Fridge Lady.
So good.
Yeah, and I was obsessed with that fridge. I still have it. It's on its last legs. But I really got stuck at that point. I was like, great, I've got a famous fridge, but what does that mean? Like, what do I do with this from there? And I knew I didn't want to be predominantly a DIY page, like a craft page, because although I love doing that stuff, I've already made the mistake of turning one hobby into a business. And I love that and I don't regret that.
No.
But I then had to find another hobby, right?
Yeah.
So I do love my DIYs, but that's for me. And sometimes I share it still on my page.
Yeah.
But I really, I was a bit stuck. And also churning out DIYs as well, very time consuming.
Yeah.
So I knew I didn't want to do that. And I sat on that account for a year at about 100,000 followers. And I was too scared to post anything else outside of DIYs or the fridge because I was afraid I'd lose followers.
Yeah.
Which is so silly looking back.
Silly, yeah. But it's normal.
Yeah. So I sat on it for a year. And then one day I was just like, what is the point of having 100,000 followers if you're not going to tell them anything or, they followed you for a reason. So just give it a go. And I've grown that, I think maybe over the last six months. I could be a bit longer.
Yeah.
I think it's now at 177,000.
What's the tag again? ADHD mess.
Oh, yeah. It's Kate. Just
it's Kate.
3 A's.
Yeah.
3 T's, 6 E's. I know it's
that one there.
stupid.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No. Go back, and it's the one that pops up down the bottom.
Yeah.
No. Keep going. Delete. Yeah. Down there.
There you
the
go.
pink.
The pink. Yeah.
You must get this. I don't know if you get this all the time, but like when you commented the first time, you know what? The first thing that me and my partner went through our partner's head.
What?
Oh, that's Kitty Ritchie.
Oh yes, no, I do. All the time.
Because from a far away, tiny little thing, you kind of you don't look like her, but from that little
you
thing,
could be mistaken.
You could be mistaken. And we're like, that's so interesting. And then you had the followers too, so it was like, oh, maybe it is Kitty Ritchie.
Yeah. I'm sorry to disappoint.
way better, because I was like, that's kind of funny. Where she come from out of the blue? Because anyway, but these guys are probably like, who the fuck's Katie Ritchie? Especially Connor, he would have no idea.
Home and Away reference.
Very Australian thing.
Yeah.
So you blew up, you've been growing it, you started talking to them again. That's happened in the last 6 months. Is it still growing like in a pretty steady sort of pace, or is it kind of like goes in waves?
Yeah, waves definitely.
Yeah.
It depends as well what kind of content I'm deciding to make, right? At the moment, I'm on the let's get to know Kate train,
Awesome.
And the views are low, and that's fine. And I'm pretty comfortable with that.
It's better content. I mean, maybe because
so.
I just come into it, but I like this sort of content.
Yeah. The content that I was making before, if you scroll down a little bit, my views were very consistently in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And that was great, and I was making money, but it was kind of a bit salesy, and it kind of like I liked it. Yeah, here we go.
A few million ones
like
here
the
and
Amazon videos and stuff.
Yeah. You got categorized as a product person, eh?
Yeah, and I didn't want that either. So now I do a mixture of both.
Yeah.
This was my puzzle phase where I was making clear acrylic puzzles. And this is the fridge phase. So, yeah, there you go.
That is so cool.
You can tell I really milked this.
Yeah, the fridge one, 100%.
Yeah.
Where's the big one?
The big one will be...
Is it quite far?
There you go. 25.6.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it before.
Yeah, nice. Hey?
2 minutes and 14 seconds.
It's quite a long video.
Yeah.
And people complained about it in the comments too.
It was so long. Yet they watched the whole fucking
And they didn't
thing.
have the scrubbing feature either. So to see the end of the video, they had to watch the full 2 minutes.
Oh, because they hadn't come out yet.
It hadn't come out yet. And then I showed it for like a split second, and they couldn't pause fast enough to see it, so they had to watch it again. They were so mad.
That's so fucking good.
So
and did
mad.
you do that intentionally when you made it? It just came out that way.
There's so many little Easter eggs in this video that made so many different demographics of people comment. So I mentioned Grey's Anatomy in there. I mentioned Jake Paul in there, just like randomly. I'm using a paintbrush that's actually a makeup brush, and that made the makeup community comment. And so yeah, it was crazy combination.
Shitstirrer.
Yeah.
You know, this is currently Joni's hypothesis and actually, I wonder if this is at part of it as well. The more topics discussed,
Yes.
and she is like, because we were talking about this length thing the other day, and I've gone back into work mode here, talking to Connor about like shit, but like, and because we were trying to decide.
See,
So
that's the makeup brush.
oh, I love it.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out the same thing for us. Like, why have some of these long ones gone off? Is it full retention time? Like, what is it? Is it the long, like, they might only be 20% retention, but because it's 4 minutes long, that's a long time they're on it and stuff like that. But then like Joni had this hypothesis of like, no, you talked about 9-10 different things in that video. Like all of those people who like those keywords have been shown it to see, and then because they all liked it, it went off. I wonder if that adds to
I feel like I've seen people do that, eh?
Yeah.
I feel like I've like got into that and I've been there for a while.
I wonder if we should yeah, I reckon that's a good testing thing. She had, like, I know it's something, but I wonder if it's like more important than we think. The video still has to be good.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Still can't be shit because they're gonna watch it
this
going.
one was.
Nah, you
It's a
know,
good-looking fridge now.
people love. Oh, that was so quick. That's
yeah,
so
I
cruel.
know, I know.
That is so cruel. I didn't even see it. I
sorry.
watched the whole thing again. Fuck.
There you go. There
Thank
you go.
fuck that's over. That is so.
And I think I
funny.
really grabbed people at the start because I said that I was painting the fridge to leave passive aggressive messages to my housemates. And so people were really sucked in on that narrative as well.
So good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Because people love to hate people. People love to hate you.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
They love it, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love that they hate me. It's so
Yeah.
good. You know what? We're gonna paint the fridge
Oh,
because we've been
can I
talking
be
about it for
here?
ages to paint it black.
Can I be here? Can I paint it?
Yeah, we can fucking paint the fridge.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Claire will be 100% up for it. Claire will do it with
We
you.
should do it. We should do
Yeah,
it
we
for
should
the
do it.
video.
We should do it. Okay, let's write that down.
Yeah,
Paint the
write that
fridge.
down.
Oh fuck, my pen's not working now.
Oh,
No,
ran out of ink.
Yeah, I'm running out of ink on my iPad. Yeah, fuck yeah. Now, gosh, I need a makeup brush.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
So okay, but tell me, like, the thing I was really wanting to get into is like your link tree is just like affiliate marketing all the way down. How's that gone? Like, was it real big when you were doing all the product stuff and
Yeah.
it sort of tailored off? Like, and it was working really well for you?
Yeah, I was getting in the thousands.
Yeah. Go to Kate's one on her page on the top
Yeah,
of
on
her
my
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And I think that was also timing as well because I was posting those videos at the tail end of last year in the fourth quarter. So it was around Christmas time, lead up to Christmas. People were in that spending mindset. And I was pumping out the videos of, my favorite Amazon products.
Yeah.
And I was getting millions of views on them. And they were fun and I liked the money coming through because I'm a cash grabber.
Yeah. Love it. Very good.
But yeah, so my most popular affiliate one is the air purifier.
Oh, yeah.
They're amazing. Honestly, you don't even have to use my link. Like, get one. They're so good. They're only $100. Like, incredible. They suck the dust out of your air and like pollen
Put it in
and
the
stuff.
put the link in the podcast. Like, get our own fucking. That's so funny. Just $100 today.
Yeah.
Air purifier. Fucking, that's great.
Yeah.
Put that link in my bio. I'll put your link in my bio.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking
No,
amazing.
go Kate's link, Stan's link, and see which one people click on.
Everyone
Mine.
loves to
Mine.
hate me. They will do it out of.
I think out of
Spite,
spite,
yeah.
they'll go and buy it on mine.
I'll just
Yeah.
call it Joni's link and then they'll all fucking buy it.
Yeah. And then, the electric scrubber and the RoboVac. Although I need to come clean about the RoboVac. I actually hate that thing. It needs to go.
Yeah, I've
I
heard a
did
lot
love
about
it, but it went through my cat's number 2s throughout the whole house and it smears it everywhere 3 times. And after that, I was like, Daryl, get outside. You are on
Daryl,
sabbatical.
I love it.
On sabbatical. See you later.
Dezza.
Yeah. Now I
Fucking
need Daryl
Dezza.
2.0 with the sensors. Like I need to spend money on that one. My cheapskate doesn't like
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
That's so good. So talk about it for a little bit. Like, you don't have to give me fully specifics, but like for people at home, like when you're doing this and you're doing it well, what are you getting from like a weekly basis from affiliate links? Like, what's some revenue sort of numbers? Give me whatever number makes sense to you.
Yeah, so in 1 month, I sold $20,000 worth of the air purifiers.
Yeah. And that's $20,000 for them.
For them.
Yeah.
And so I get a 10% affiliate
Cool.
on that.
Sweet.
So like $2,000
That's
off
amazing.
of the air purifier video alone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How many
in the
videos is that?
thousands.
1, 2, 3.
I think I've done about Couple.
Yeah.
Couple. The air purifier one, if ever I need decent views, I just whip it out and give it a clean.
That is
I'm not
so
joking.
good.
I'm not
Just
joking.
whip them out.
They
give 'em a
love
clean,
it. They
polish
love
them up.
it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. That's
If I need a dopamine hit,
so good.
I'll clean the air purifier. I'll
Yeah.
do it.
That's so good. I mean, that was, I love, like jokes aside, I love that ability to just be like, yeah, I need the dopamine hit. I need views. Like we know what's going to go and crack it. Like,
Yeah.
And that was like the video that we did the other day. Like Joni and I knew, like,
Yeah.
we're like, probably didn't know it was going to go as fast as it did, but then it tailed off real fast. But like,
Have you noticed, just sorry, side note, TikTok views, nothing peak,
Yeah.
just all of a sudden peak and then drop off and then like taper
yeah.
out. It's very strange. I've noticed across all of my videos recently,
Yeah.
massive peak and then nothing. Whereas, it would be in the first hour, you'd get 50,000 views and you go, okay, this is going to
Yeah.
be about 1 million views and you could predict it.
it changed probably December, Jan, where it fully, the first time it changed, and then it changed again, I think February, March, we saw another change where it did it. Yeah, I just think it's like, I think like still if the content's great, it's just showing it to so many more people that less and less people like it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, yeah, we've found all the people who actually like this and that's enough.
Yeah.
Whereas to get into the 10 or 11 million, like it has to be, real good. Like we've only got over 5 mil. I think we've only got 10 videos or 12 videos over that mark, maybe something like that, eh? You've got a couple on yours, eh?
I had one on 13.
13. Didn't you have another one that was a 4 or 5? Didn't you have the second cut?
Oh, like 3.
3, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to get past that 5 mil mark. And especially now, I think it's even harder. Like this time last year, well, not this time last year, but like late last year, yesterday's video would have been at 7 mil, 6 mil, easy.
Yeah.
Because the how fast, like it was on for an hour. It was up for an hour, and I had a call from the Unsociable guys from Scotland, the guys over Tech, because this is like a full collab thing we're doing, right? He like rang me, he's like, bro, that's going off. I was like, what's going off? He's like, your video you just put up. I was like, I haven't put a video up yet. I haven't even done my vlog. He's like, not yours?
you.
No one's watching yours, Stan.
No one
Fucking
cares about
attention
you,
seeker.
Stan.
And I'm like, oh, bro, fuck. Sorry. And then I was like, watching it. I was like, holy shit. And it just had gone. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely a mill. But then, then it tails off. And
Yeah.
then, but we also get like spikes every night because of the US. Like when they wake up in the morning, we get another round of spikes. Okay, cool. So that's quite interesting. So your affiliate links weren't doing too bad when you're trying.
Yeah.
So now what sort of volume comes through there?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
Barely
It's not
anything now that because it's real different content.
It is. So sometimes I'll post videos like this one where I was cleaning my bathroom drunk, but I'll still use the product.
Yeah. Fuck, I love this whole series. I loved how it was like just one night deteriorating.
Yes.
Before you left, it was so fucking funny.
It was like, I have so much to do. Let's get drunk.
Yeah, that was so good.
And meanwhile, I'm like posting like celebrities at my table because I was like, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
So when you do stuff that are about stuff, it still gets people going in to click.
Yeah. So if you
interesting.
actually scroll down a bit, there was one that I didn't intend for it to be a product thing, but it made a little bit of money. It's when my landlord stuff was going on. Slow down a sec. What phase are we in? Keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so see that 1.3 million there? So I was just talking about how I had a house inspection coming up because I had some issues with my landlord and I needed to clean my oven. And I was just explaining the story over the video of me and I was using the product. But this one did quite well as well. And I didn't even say link in bio but I think people commented asking like, where is this from and stuff.
Yeah.
Just told them it's in my bio. But
So showing it and then people get obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And just go and buy it.
Yeah.
But what does that cost? What does that cost to buy?
$50.
Yeah. So those sort of low cost items that people can just consume real fast.
Yeah. And they're great too. Just FYI. Another shameless plug.
The reason I was asking about it is like, have you looked into much about what's happening with TikTok Shop?
I've heard a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually went to a conference recently where TikTok was on the panel and it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I know it's
cool. Like the guys in like Unsociable that we doing the thing with. So because it's in the UK fully. and they do mostly e-commerce, those guys, like where we do most professional services and B2B stuff, they do mostly e-commerce businesses. And it's real cool for creators because like you do a product, but they buy it in the video.
That's so
They don't have to go to your link in bio. And then it's set up so that when they buy it, it's like Amazon. It's already set up in the
Automatic
background how much
commission.
your commission comes to your TikTok account.
Oh, it's going to make things so much easier
The
as well.
Purchases will go through the roof.
Yeah.
So I think like actually like I was never I never really thought for a lot of people. Yours is a bit different because you were getting consistent views, but for a lot of people like the link and bio stuff, not a real good way of like consistently making money unless you are actually getting millions of views all the time.
Well, because that's the thing, right? Once that video starts to taper out, that
gone.
money making machine is now gone. Yeah.
They don't come back.
Yeah.
And the peak's not high enough to like live on that for long enough, right? Like let's say you did 2K in a month. It's like great, but like you live in Melbourne, so that doesn't get you far.
Nope.
So
It's nice pocket change.
yeah. But you think about if I don't even have to leave the video and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
And it's all built in, like my payment system's built into TikTok, so I can just buy it at a
They don't
Do
have
you
to scroll
do you think
through
that
the
stuff's
links.
more focused when you don't have community like going on in your videos? Like, because if you've got community, like they're gonna follow you anywhere. So is it more for non-community stuff?
Oh yeah.
Or do its best?
No, I think you're right, but I think also that's a real good point that if you've got a community who love you, they'll go and support you by buying stuff, right?
Yeah, but you also want to capitalize on going viral as well.
Yeah.
And you're reaching, millions of people that don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't care who you are.
Because 1.3 million, only 10% of them are your followers.
Yeah.
So like, you want to capitalize on the other 90%.
Yeah.
But also, as we know, like getting people to go to your bio is one of the hardest things to do, like in this whole world, which is if they don't have to, and they can just buy straight up.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
crazy.
a lot of people they see the product and they know that you have an affiliate link. So they'll go and open up a new web browser just so that they don't give you the affiliate link.
Really? Do people do that?
People
Oh,
do
that's
that.
so
I
shit.
know.
Honestly.
But if you're making it easier for them anyway and it's genuinely easy, then I'm grabbing your money.
Yeah. Well, that's so funny. It's so funny that they don't. Yeah, which is what I liked about TikTok Shop. So I actually think it's like I think you should definitely keep on top of it and watch it. Watch what's happening in the UK.
Yeah.
Go watch
I'm excited.
some of the guys. If you really want to do it more, and not just you, but anyone listening, like go look at what the influencers and the creators and stuff in the UK are doing now to do it because they're all doing it. And like e-commerce businesses like, well, that's the only way we're going to market now because it's so much easier. And they just give commissions. The way I want to finish up real quickly is where are you going? What's next? What's the future?
Well, I know you don't like, you don't want to personally buy a home. I want to.
Yeah.
But I want to turn that into a money-making machine, obviously, so it can pay for itself. And I want to renovate that.
Cool.
And so I think that would be
Like
my
flip
next
life.
series. I don't know about flipping houses forever.
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. And then maybe upsize further down the line. But that's, for me personally, where I want to take this.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, because then
That'll
I can
go off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's DIY, which is fun. I'm going to be doing it anyway. May as well film it, and people will love it. Yeah.
And just every single because you got the following already, and if you plan it out right, you can just have every single expense covered by ad or affiliate links.
That would be great.
Oh, of course you can.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like you've got a good engaged audience. You've got the other stuff. Like you just got to plan it out properly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those big brands, even things like Bunnings and stuff, they do heaps of. I mean, fucking Joni did a Bunnings ad. What did she build? Like a table or some shit? Like what the fuck, man? And she hated it too. And she was like, "This will work." Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. Like, Bunnings. Oh well, fuck, she's not for agency anymore anyway.
Yeah.
And lastly, is it all you? Like, so you're what about ads and stuff like that? Like, how much of that sort of stuff are you doing?
As in brand deals?
Yeah, brand deals and stuff.
I get a few, not many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty picky. I know I like to joke that I'm a cash grabber, but I'm not going to put my face in front of a brand that I don't believe in. So I am quite picky, and I also love to negotiate. So a lot of brands don't like that.
Nah.
Yeah.
They always want especially when they're doing like non-agency people, they just like oh, here's someone we can get for real cheap.
Yeah.
Let's get them real cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got like, there's this deal. I probably shouldn't say it too much on camera right now because it's still in play. But like, there was this one for one of our staff who might be in this room. And as soon as they found out that he had an agent, which was me,
Yeah.
they fucking got super
Really?
like, the fuck.
Yeah.
It was too late in the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, it helps for people
Yeah.
to you should just have an email address and reply back as your agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should just do that.
Yeah. It would save me about 10 emails back and forth.
It would just save everything.
Yeah.
You should just do that. That's just a hack.
Yeah.
Just like put in an email address that's like something, and make up some shit.
Yeah.
So and so's agent at blah blah blah, and then just go back, and then they're like, oh, because automatically they will like 50% or 100% increase the price
Yeah. Wow.
because they have to
Just
account
like
for
that.
agents' fees.
True.
So they know.
Yeah.
Instantly it goes up,
Yeah.
and they know the agents know the rates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be my trick because if you already know how to negotiate, just add in that extra tool on top. And
Yeah.
done. All right. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up? Because I think the guys probably want to go home soon.
Yeah. No, I'm all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming
What
on.
the
That was
heck?
cool. It was cool to hear the story about Brass and Bones because I wasn't sure
Yeah.
the whole like where it goes from. So that was really cool. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.